to the story. Both sides of 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 the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body. In the service of my fellow citizens, I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 30th and penultimate day of the 8th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 30th and penultimate day of the third month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the local weather forecast here in Jamaica, there's a trough across the country. And as we like to remind you, when we speak of a trough, we are speaking of wet weather, and invariably a trough generally forebodes some kind of unstable weather. And so when you hear the word trough, think of unstable weather. It's in terms of clouding and rain or thunderstorms. In fact, a trough is always associated with some weather activity, either directly or indirectly. And of course, the opposite of a trough is called a ridge, which denotes fair weather. A ridge is an extension from a high pressure area. And so a trough remains across Jamaica. The trough is expected to stay in place over the next couple of days. Unstable weather conditions are expected to continue during this period. The forecast for the rest of this afternoon, this evening, and tonight: scattered showers and thunderstorms across sections of most parishes. Tonight, cloudy. And in terms of other regional weather features, there's an area of low pressure across the central Atlantic, and that has a high chance of development over the next 5 days. So let's keep our eyes on that low pressure across the central tropical Atlantic. In the meantime, in terms of the other observances in Jamaica and elsewhere in the world on this day, the 30th and penultimate day of August, let's remind ourselves that in the United States, the month of August is being observed as Children's Eye Health and Safety Month, Gastroparesis Awareness Month, National Breastfeeding Month, National Immunization Awareness Month, Psoriasis Action Month, and Summer Sun Safety Month. Setago on Haiti, Children's Day in Afghanistan, Constitution Day in East Timor, Kazakhstan, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. The Feast of St. Rose of Lima, Rose Festival, is on in St. Lucia and Peru, and it's Victory Day in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus and Turkey. Hoy es 30 de agosto 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continua para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
into Margins Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Margins Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The job by Margins Pharmacy is 215. Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature Hyper Food Independence. Hyper Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's Hyper Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Hyper Food Independence is sponsored by Hypro. Yes, my heart is silent, and it shall be. My strength, my love, that's my loyalty to give. Oh, green out of the evenings, can make us strong and free. Oh, God, and Lord,
C'est mardi le 30 août 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 30th and penultimate day in the month of August 2022, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9 from Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you've downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Depending on the nature of your device, downloading is free, listening is free, wherever, whenever. We thank those of you who have logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. And we're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat, TikTok, all over social media. Looking forward to your usual participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks to those who have dialed a number to listen to Power 106 FM. from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook in the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We thank those of you who have found other ways and means of listening to us, and we look forward to your continued listenership and support. Messages are already coming in, and we do have June in Norway, in Oslo, Norway, hitting us up already on the WhatsApp line, same as the text line. Let's hear what Miss June has to say. Greetings to you. How are you?
Over 2 hours on the line, listen Power 106.
Over 2 hours listening to Power on the line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, listening different people. No one call, I want to talk about, yeah, wait for you. Well, because you are my specialist.
Oh, you're very kind.
I know you don't. I know you don't deal with this politics and this religion and this.
Really, we deal with everything.
I feel like that.
All right.
Also, I really feel so. I'm listening. You're teaching me and my children and whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I'm glad you are here. Love you. They're going to give a joke about yesterday now. The song where you know where the song name Eternal. Yesterday, when Jamaica party, we did play this song with him. Eternal Father, bless the Lord.
That's the national anthem.
Guide us. Yeah.
Yes.
And they have this long program with the Prime Minister, with the independent.
Yeah. The Jamaica 60 celebrations.
Hello?
The Jamaica 60 celebrations.
Yeah, and them have a show it on the flame and everybody sit down quiet. Jamaican can be quiet too, you know. And me walk outside and go and pursue my business.
Well, if you ever doubt that Jamaicans can be quiet and behave themselves, you just go to the US Embassy for your visa. And you will see the most well-behaved people in the world. You can hear a pin drop at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay. So I tell you what I'm going. And then we walk outside and then people come back me and ask me if me leaving. Me say, no, I'm not leaving, but me see the Prime Minister, you're the Prime Minister already. Everybody know me watch the news and watching a lot of things going on in Jamaica. But leave it there now. And before me leave, me glad Dervan, me love you. And me want you to talk about when they jump America and Germany. At time you to talk about Norway to I'm giving number 2.
But Norway is always on. You're always on.
Yeah, only me. But I'm not the only one.
Well,
no, I tell you, we stop talking about Germany and England. We are hoping for taking you anytime you want to come.
Well, you just say the word and I'm there. I'll be there, as Michael Jackson said.
Welcome to Norway anytime. Anyway, we leave that there now. I'm going to say one more joke before we leave now.
Yes.
Last night, me and talk and me asleep. And me husband asleep. And all of a sudden, me hear my husband laugh. And me say, what you laugh for? And me and the Dervan say hello. And he talk to me and sleep. That cry. No one laughing. Me can't laugh no more. But me I tell you what, when it's, I'm never repeat it. When you meet, when Norwegians meet, you say good evening, and they say good quell, and then can use the same word when they are leaving.
Good, Gwen.
But it depends on the time.
Oh.
I can meet you and I can say good evening. And when I'm leaving, I can say good evening also. But it depends on the time. Okay, me I will spell it to you now.
Yes.
And you should go Google and find out. Kveld.
Kveld.
It means evening.
Oh. And how
And
you
as I
pronounce
say
it?
to you,
Pronounce it again for me, please.
Kveld.
And how do you pronounce Kveld?
In Norwegian, we say quell.
Quell. Oh.
Guquel.
Guquel. Good evening. Guquel.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can also say the same word when you are leaving.
Right. It's same in English because you can say good
But
evening when you're greeting people at first, and then when you're leaving, you just wish them a good evening as well.
yes, exactly. Dervan,
Yes.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Make you, I love you no more.
Love you too.
Leave it there.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's see. And let's go to another of the messages on our WhatsApp line, same as the text line, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Here's a message from Seymour Barkley, president of the Jamaican Association Bermuda. He says, "Good afternoon, Dervan. How are you? I've noticed that Cliff Hughes's picture appears on Power 106 TuneIn Radio's profile. Is that supposed to be there? Well, whoever had put it up in the first place forgot to take it down when he moved back to Nationwide. So maybe that's what happened. Somebody forgot to take down his photo or to uh, move transfer the photo to Nationwide. That perhaps is what happened, Seymour Barkley. That's a little sloppy, though, isn't it? Roy Lawrence says, oh, this was meant for Dr. Gale. Dr. Gale, the cane cutters in Florida were set up because the farmers wanted to merchandise. The farmers, maybe Canada wants to get rid of Jamaican workers. Question signs from Roy Lawrence. I don't think so. Who would want to get rid of Jamaican workers? No other group of people have mastered the art of farm work duties more better than Jamaicans. Jamaicans are the champions in that regard. We just need to ensure that they are being treated with the respect that they deserve and that they get adequate representation when as the need arises. Pauline Findlay, good afternoon to you. James in East London has shared with us the usual collection of stories from the United Kingdom. Thanks as usual, James in East London. And what are we seeing? Met Police horse dies at Carnival as force set to launch investigation. The poor horse. Sorry to hear that. Carnival was perhaps a little too much for this horse. And also coming out of London, 3 dead, teen fighting for his life, and 2 men stabbed in just bringing up the rest of the story. And this didn't happen in Jamaica. This is in London. 3 dead, teen fighting for his life, and 2 men stabbed in shocking bank holiday weekend of violence. We did bring to the nation's attention, with the aid of some information, some sources, of the global trend of violence and criminal activity during this pandemic. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Monkeypox is in Jamaica. If you're experiencing fever, intense headache, muscle aches, and/or rash on the skin, you must isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. All members of the public should wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Under the law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 50 years, and that's right. The program is brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and 9:55 p.m. Wednesdays on Power 106 FM.
Here's another of the stories compiled by James in East London. Man hit by train after trying to pull stranger onto tracks at tube station. And Notting Hill murder victim 21 named and pictured for the first time as popular drill rapper. Those are just, do we have more? Yes, there are a few more. Channel migrants, Home Office pays firms to pick up people in small boats. Benjamin Mendy, woman looked worried at party, court told. A woman who said footballer Benjamin Mendy raped her looked worried and asked a friend to check on her in 5 minutes as she left her room during a party at his home, a court has heard. Mr. Mendy, 28, denies 8 counts of rape, attempted rape, and sexual assault. The migrant crisis is getting worse as a record 25,000 made it to the UK as of this weekend. Some 915 people crossed the English Channel on Saturday, according to the latest Ministry of Defense provisional statistics. There have been 8,747 crossings in August so far, including 3,733 last week. And that's data provided. It is happening around. Spare a thought for the people who are having to deal with serious flooding. We heard of Mississippi, and we have seen footage there. But apparently, perhaps the most devastating floods right now are in Pakistan. Pakistan floods caused by monsoon on steroids, says UN chief in urgent appeal. Hundreds of children among 1,000 people killed by Pakistan monsoon rains and floods. Monster monsoon kills more than 1,000, as Queen says she is deeply saddened. So that is one of the major stories. I believe the UN Secretary General has been appealing for help on behalf of those who are suffering. And in the midst of that, there is a whole lot of heat. Mega heat wave flashes dangerous warning signs for West. Do not drink the water. Mississippi governor will declare emergency as Jackson's main water facility fails. 11-year-old boy dies after being swept into a storm drain during flash flood. A-list celebrities under the watch of water police as water restrictions tighten. I believe that's California. A named tropical system is likely by Labor Day. Here's how it could affect weekend plans. These are snapshots from CNN we're reading. And there are other stories right now which are being monitored. And more people are coming out and saying, you see what we were telling you about all along? Climate change. Climate change. And the scientists have been telling us. So we're getting everything at the same time, apparently, or simultaneously. The floods, the heat wave, the drought, the fires, all happening simultaneously, all across the globe. What a thing. Commiserations for those who are suffering, and we wish them all the best of recoveries possible under the circumstances. Pakistan floods are a monsoon on steroids, warns UN chief. Antonio Guterres urged the world to come to Pakistan's aid as he launched a $160 million appeal to help the tens of millions affected in the disaster. Here in Jamaica, we still have a lot to be thankful for. We have been receiving heavy rains, and in particular, in recent times, over the last few days, Hanover and I think I heard something about St. Mary as well. But spare a thought for those who are being significantly affected. The devastating floods. This year's record monsoon is comparable to the devastating floods of 2010, the deadliest in Pakistan's history, which left more than 2,000 people dead. What a thing. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
And I know that you and Frank were the friend. So, the part, so one of is a part of the group. So I would love to send my condolences to you on that side.
Thank you.
As I have done on your sister Peter. And Frank, I would have really, with my friend, would I would have that Frank for an arm and
sorry, I wonder if you could give us a little more clarity by either moving the phone a little bit from your mouth or turn down the volume. It's over modulating.
All right, you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right, when I was after that, when I've had an accident that caused my leg to down.
How are you doing, by the way?
Well, to God with the program.
Now we're hearing the breeze. Is that your fan or the breeze up?
I am outside.
Yes.
All right. When I was in Africa, thanks for. I got a lot of minutes. But the video that I enjoyed the most is the morning when I woke up and I saw Francois and Mrs. Emily Shield on my bedside.
Oh wow.
That was the day after the photo was updated. So I will forever. I remember that visit.
Yes.
I'm forever grateful.
Understandably so. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well done by them. Mm-hmm.
I know he'll be great with this because he was really a champion of the airwaves.
Yes.
Well, I think so, Mr. Marco.
Yes.
6 meter houses, Indian meter houses, have the story of the Jamaican farm workers' treatment in Canada.
Which 6?
Al Jazeera, one Canada Times,
Which one?
two Canadian newspapers,
Uh-huh.
Al Jazeera,
Mm-hmm.
a US paper, and two other papers. I don't remember them right now.
Can't remember them.
But I know Al Jazeera carried it.
Mm.
Two papers from Canada carried, and some other people.
And what does you considering what you have said, that all those newspapers have, all those media entities have carried it? What does that tell you?
That something needs to be investigated, and what the people are saying is true.
Which people are saying is true?
But the farm workers, what they are saying is true.
What are they saying?
Our labor minister dismissed the argument.
Yeah, well, the labor minister, I thought he had more experience than that to know the appropriate response. In that kind of scenario, you don't want to you don't want to dismiss outright claims by workers. Yes, he may have very well visited 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 farms or areas where Jamaicans are working, but he might have missed one or two. He might not have, or whatever issues arose might not have been brought to his attention. And so the appropriate thing to say would be, I was on a tour of the area and we visited X number of farms. Now, I cannot vouch for any other at this time, but I know that based on my interactions with the farm workers on these farms, what I will do is to ask my team in Canada to bring to my attention the details of the farm workers who are having troubles, who are having problems, so that it's as simple as that. If he had said that, then perhaps you wouldn't be calling us this afternoon, John.
But the minister is so out of touch with what's taking place. Is it that his interest is not really for the farm workers, but for the employer? Because in the 1990s, there was similar complaints about the treatment of the farm workers. And the most honorable person in the middle, who was the Minister of Labour, local government and sports at the time, she went to Canada, but she did not go there alone. She took the opposition spokesperson on Labour at the time. She took some.
Who was that?
I don't remember the person's name. But she took that person who was the opposition spokesperson. She also took technical of the ministry. While she was having the meetings with the farm manager and the farm owners, those people in the field getting information from the workers. And what happened? That when she leaves Canada and come down and then go through everything, after that, the program gets better for the people because she did investigation.
We're a little disappointed because back in the day, and it might not have been around the same time when Mrs. Simpson Miller had responsibility for labor, but we did put forward a couple of proposals, Power 106 FM, suggesting to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security that we do a series of broadcasts from the sites where these farm workers were functioning. And so that would open up the program to the world, not least of all to Jamaicans here, to get a true sense of what was happening or not happening and how they felt and what the program meant to them. And we remain disappointed that nobody took us up on that offer. It would have made such a big difference in opening up the program to Jamaicans and everybody else at home and abroad. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 2:45. Are you stuck in a position or phase in your life and wondering what your next move will be? Do all the real possibilities for growth and change seem just out of your reach? Well, the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica can give you a hand with locations in almost every parish. You can complete your degree in as little as 2 years, get practical experience in your chosen field. Apply to one of the member institutions today and let them help you achieve your goals. Visit them online at cccj.edu.jm or follow them on social media at the CCCJ. As long as they shall live, my strength, my loyalty.
Thanks a lot for being with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Yes, sir. Sorry, we missed the first part of what you were saying. You weren't up on the board. What did you say about supplies?
I am not surprised by the minister's reaction to.
Well, I have to say I am surprised because he is hold on, he is a senior and supposedly seasoned politician and minister, cabinet minister, and so on and so forth. You would expect that with his years of experience, that he would have been in a better position to give an acceptable response under the circumstances.
I'm not surprised. I have seen during this JP administration, we have a lot of our people abroad have been treated shabbily by the government.
What do you mean? A lot of our people? How? What?
We remember our children in Ukraine were ruined by the government. Remember our workers on the cruise ship, our government at the last.
Yes. Having said that, though, remember that. Hold on. That they were all brought home anyway, weren't they?
Yeah, but at the last minute when the pressure reached them.
Yeah. Well, what does that mean? That means that in instances where the state appears to be failing or is about to make what the people believe is a wrong move, if enough of the people feel strongly about that particular scenario and make noise about it and deplore the lack of action, etc., action is taken. That's the power of, hold on, it's important. It is very important that we underline that, to remind people of the power that they have in their hands.
Now, what we also show is that the government look at the interest of people come second to them. Because just like in China when the COVID-19 broke out, when the China asked the try to get out,
yeah, well, one can give and take in the early stages of COVID-19 because we did not know then as much as we know now.
In Cuba, one of the difficulties is having supplies. I think they're going to have a private people going to help them. So we have seen with this government, the people who are on the fishing boat,
I wonder whatever became of that case. Has it been? Need to check on that. By the way, John, remember you don't have to shout as much as you do when you're having a conversation, because the device that you're using already is at a certain level, so your sound comes across muffled. So if you really want people to hear what you're saying, you have to back off a bit.
All right. The next one before I go.
Yes.
In 2019, the 24th of July, a report from one Nika Lewis from the nationwide news network stated that the Prime Minister Andrew Holness will not be attending any crime summit with the opposition. And they behave as if, they're not really opposition and armed solutions.
They who?
Now we are hearing a lot of people talk about consensus. What them March the 17th, 2021, the present common leader, Mark Golding, asked the Prime Minister at the various talks and crime. No answer. The 27th of November, 2021, he called again for a reinstatement of these talks and for the opposition, the government to sit down with the opposition and let us talk about solutions to solving crime.
That, by the way, sides. Do you remember that?
No, I'm talking about
No. Hold on. Do you remember that has happened on both sides?
No, I don't remember.
Yes, but you wouldn't remember that, John. Come on now. Hold on. Just the same thing has happened on both sides, where both the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party at different times have stepped away from the Vale Royal talks and have had to they were eventually brought back to the table. Both sides. It has happened with both sides.
Okay, I'm talking about the issue with crime. When the families are now coming to nation.
But you weren't talking. Hold on, man. You were talking about. You were making a point about members of the Jamaica Labour Party refusing or ignoring calls to start the Vale Royal talks. And I'm saying, which is why I made the point that just as how we have had walkouts out of Parliament over the years from both parties, the same thing has happened with the Vale Royal Summit. It has happened.
Well, I'm talking about what the Jamaica Party has been doing, what the government has been doing. Right now, we hear people come and say, why the opposition must come and sit down. But that is not it. They need to tell the government, clean and straight water. You have been a failure when it comes to crime.
You tell me a political party in the history of this country that has been a success in the fight against crime. And I'll show you pigs flying all over the skies of the corporate area right now.
The last PMP administration, led by President Miller, with Peter Bunting as the Minister of National Security. Crime is where murder was trending down.
Which happens from administration to administration, which has had very little, if anything, to do with who is the police commissioner, who is the Minister of National Security, and who is, hold on, don't do that. It has very little, if anything at all, to do with who is Prime Minister, who is National Security Minister, and who is Police Commissioner.
No, Dervan, it's all I have to do. But I'm just when they put policies in place that the human rights change, that was bringing down the crime, that was bringing the communities and getting you to think a different way. You are not change with a very good program.
Like so many other programs that we have had over the years. The problem is we invest too much of our energy in individuals as opposed, so we're more keen on the who the guy is, as Bob Marley would say, as opposed to what's the essence of the policy or the program, and how sustainable was the policy or the program. If we ever had a sustainable solution to crime in this country, we would not have this discussion right now.
Dervan, I said something. That climate change program was working. But when the government changed
Every government can cite a period in their time where they had what they would call success, when in fact that the time did not allow for anyone to see what was described as success going beyond just a fleeting fix.
No, I'm never gonna go back. I tell you that the UN change program was working. And the government, this government has continued. We have to, but their policy, you know, brute force, because we got chance to put a program now work. So I don't want to use brute force. I'm brute force, you never stop it. But what I'm saying now is that
which security forces in the history of Jamaica have never used brute force or resort to brute force? Which security force under any administration in Jamaica?
2011 to 2016, the
Please.
crime there wasn't even one curfew was put up. It was no emergency and crime was going down.
I asked the question again. Under which administration and which police commissioner and which national security minister have we not had some kind of what you call brute force? When have we never had that?
But I'm telling you, there was no brute force tactics being used when Peter Bunting was the Minister of National Security.
But when you but hold on. At different you're not going to avoid it as long as the security forces believe that brute force is necessary in that at that particular point and with that particular scenario. Who is going to stop that?
Well, I am telling you.
And who has ever stepped out to stop that?
Not even one curfew took place. So you cannot be saying that
so what? Not even one. What does not even one curfew taking place, as you say, which is not true? What does that have to do with anything?
What it did, you had more community policing, and the humanitarian program that was taking place, and to bring down murder and bring down violent crime. And that is true.
And why are we still here? Why are we still here? Sounds like you're getting notes from somebody in the background. Why are we still here? Why are we still here? You're running now. You're running.
No, I'm not running.
So where are you going?
No, somebody come to me.
The point I'm making though, no man, the point I'm making, John, is at some point you have to get to the level where you can reasonably put forward your position, where people can say at least John is fair, or at least John is not just politicking. Because when you do that, John, I thought you were running. Why are you still talking? When you do that, hold on. When you do that, you undermine your position. People will tune you out. If you hope to make an impact on the airwaves on behalf of the People's National Party, you have to do better than this, John. You have to do better than this.
Yesterday that after spending $40 billion after having 3 years of state emergency, that him can't control crime.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I saw that. I was watching that. I was watching that. But he was saying what he has been saying anyway about violence and the business of dealing with violence in and of itself, and the society being one of a violent nature, etc., etc., etc. He wasn't saying anything new.
The Prime Minister said that any minister, when he was the opposition, he said that anybody who the country and the city have lost confidence in must resign. They must talk about pension service. Well, the journalist report told us that 93% of Jamaica have no confidence at all in the minister, why don't they fire him?
All right.
91% don't have any confidence in the culture of police. Why don't they
All
fire
right.
him?
Watch this now, John. Watch this now, John. Listen up now. So we get rid of the police commissioner, get rid of the minister of national security, and what will happen after that? What will happen? Uh-huh. All right. All right. Keep hoping.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876 754 7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is 3 o'clock. Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature High Pro Food Independence. High Pro Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's High Pro Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. High Pro Food Independence is sponsored by High Pro.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Greetings, Raskava.
Yeah, man, blessed love. You see, if the government, whichever one in power, don't,
well, better you than us. It means it's tolerant. We can tolerate it on this side because we're not hearing what you're hearing.
If the government of the day does not find out the cause of people resorting to crime, they will not do nothing. Yan can't stand hoping till thy kingdom come. No change now make.
But that's something that you're echoing something that we have said over the years, Raskava. That hasn't changed.
I don't know about that. I never stopped saying that. But how can you, if you go to the doctor first has to diagnose the cause of the problem before he can write a prescription for it. So by moving this minister and that security and adding pressure here and doing that there, if you don't know what is causing it, it's not going to make no difference. You're just going to be going around in circles. So all you and John are coping all over the place. It's not going to make no difference. Because the cause of crime is not yet identified. And I don't know why the government don't put a task force.
Oh, please, not another one. Please, not another task force.
Whatever is necessary.
Not another committee, not another commission.
Whatever is necessary to find.
We have had more than enough of those. And unless or until there is some deep thinking individuals who can present to us something that gives us that eureka, creates that eureka moment to say, aha, this is what we've been missing. And that we can see that as a potential solution of sorts. Other than that, we'll just be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
What they can start with is doing a Mr. Dan's poll to find out why one would leave high school or resort to criminal activities rather than continue to have a proud, although them proudly are doing them, but a normal life that they can take care of them family. And if that poll will give you a first-hand experience or idea why some people resort to crime.
Because man is innately a survivor. Man is a survivor. Man must survive. Man must make ends meet. Man must must find a way, whether legal or illegal.
Well, I'm not telling them what to say, but one thing I know is that lack of opportunities is one of the causes. Opportunity for all equally is not there. So that would be one of the high reason why.
But how do you explain, though, for example, a sector like the business process outsourcing, which has moved from, what was it, maybe 30 odd thousand to now 50 odd thousand people employed? I've never in my life, and I'm as old as KFC in Jamaica, I have never in my life before this year seen KFC advertising in such a significant way for people to join their team in terms of job opportunities. Mothers just had a job fair last weekend as well. There are openings, there are opportunities. I'm seeing, if you go to the fast food outlets, you see people in white shirts. Those are the trainees. I've never seen so many trainees in my life. Something is happening.
Yeah, but not enough to convince the criminal that they can make a livelihood from it.
Well, they will have to talk to the police about that, and the judges and so on. Those who are serious about about contributing to the development of their country can find opportunities. The Companies Office of Jamaica, a couple of years ago, just a couple of years ago, still in the pandemic, told us about the dramatic rise in entrepreneurship in Jamaica in terms of the number of new businesses registered at the Companies Office of Jamaica. Small and medium sized enterprises.
You see, whereas I agree that half a bread is better than no bread. However, the minimum wage that the people are working need to move from that they can cope with the inflation that's taking place. So,
I tell you better than that, Rascava. We need to look at, and we have been saying it, nobody has been paying it any mind. We need to relook at our systems of remuneration for our artisans, our craftsmen and women, our plumbers, our electricians, etc. People are just charging what they feel like or giving people what they feel the people are worth. That is something we have to sort out in this country. We can't have people just paying somebody what they feel like paying them, as opposed to abiding by a standard in every single field of endeavor in this country, so that we know what the standard is and what level people need to be compensated at according to their skill sets, their qualifications, etc. That is woefully lacking in this country, and that's why we have one of the reasons why we have so many underpaid people in this country.
Yeah, because some people don't say, well, the government they have to get this, and they're not looking at the value of the worker that they have and the volume of work that they are putting out. And so, well, why not because the government said this, the man value more than this, or the woman value more than that. So I am going to be doing that. That's why the minimum wage must be at a level and want to get paid according to their quality of work that they do, and not just right across the board.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if we will ever be satisfied with whatever we put up as a minimum wage. First of all, I don't know that we'll ever be satisfied. But what I'm sure about is that we need to have standards of remuneration, qualification, etc., etc. That way, we are very clear what is the average rate to pay the plumber for fixing the toilet as opposed to the faucet, etc., etc. Woefully lacking. We don't have those standards. That's what we need to look at what is happening now. now that school is about to reopen under re- uh, as close to normal as possible. And look at the dressmakers and the tailors. They are scrambling because here is their opportunity now to get back in business. And this is the thing where we must be ready if we are serious about opportunity and opportunity knocking. We must be ready. Ready so that when those opportunities come knocking, we are ready to jump in and get the work done. But so what we have now, instead of the Gleaner report telling us about how wonderful things are now for tailors and dressmakers. They're having a boom right now. They're telling us that tailors and dressmakers are wilting under the pressure of uniform orders. It means they were not ready. Right?
You know, say not all tailors are having that luxurious tight club building under the pressure because if you go to children, them can't go and buy a uniform ready-made that is imported into the island. Hence the tailor don't get those to make. And the blouses that the girls them wear, you can go to the stores and you buy them. The uniform itself, less the blouse, just makers will start make those and stockpile them for a particular school or something like that. That is the only time them get a little food. Or when the boy them go buy the pants and carry them come to take in and turn in a spangy. Then we get some little rules to do that. But the amount of ready-made clothes were coming to this island cheap. People left from America come here come buy clothes, go back to America with it. Because it's cheaper, yeah.
Except that the uniforms have we've never had that problem with the uniforms because of the certain special ways of or designs or styles or embroidery or whatever it is. And so not the ones I looked at last weekend though. I was with at one of those places with the uniforms, and I realized, huh? No, not the pleat I'm talking about. I'm talking about a special mark. For example, the emblem of the school emblem being right.
Yeah, those are special things for the school.
And I also saw the dressmakers there. I was there watching them measuring the waists and the this and the 30 and whatever the number was, etc. And so it wasn't any ready-made thing. They're building from scratch. They're creating from scratch. No, I'm talking about the girls now. It's a girls' school.
Right.
That was being taken care of at that factory when I went there.
But you see, the dressmakers have been struggling from over the years and tailors because of the imported.
But that goes way back, Raskov. I remember reading in the archives about that, where there, yeah, and it wouldn't, based on the advancement in technology and manufacturing of apparel, etc.
Right. So the tailors and dressmakers are not boosted. Anyway, goes on to the other point.
Yes.
The Mr. Smoother was more smoother than he was the last time.
Yeah, I don't know what has. Well, I don't want to speculate. I was just so surprised at his response because I'm saying, come on, you're a senior, supposedly seasoned politician. That can't be your response to a matter or a concern or concerns or matters with farm workers being brought to your attention. And the best thing you can do is to say, well, you toured a couple of farms or whatever, and you didn't have any such report. There's been no such report. Well, somebody is suggesting that there's a report, so why not make it clear? All right, I was not aware of that. I'm going to ask a member of my team to look into it right away because we cannot have that for our people, etc., etc., etc.
I am not surprised, Bridget, because when I was going to school, an inspector come at school. School is the thickest and strongest place, and everybody wear them brand new khaki clothes where the fly pit pan see me cut. I have a pick boy pick me here come because the inspector come. So when Mr. Smoother was going to those farms,
they were prepared for him.
Welcome was done for it.
Yes, one moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Luxury beaches, countless grains of pure white sand, tranquil breeze and palm trees. Our beautiful island, Jamaica. Oh, Jamaica. We miss the vibrancy of our tourism product, but hope is on the horizon. At Exim Bank, we know that SMEs in the tourism industry need support to keep this vision alive, to strengthen one of our country's strongest assets. Let us help you to build a better future for your business. Ask about our small and medium-sized tourism enterprise loan today. Borrow up to $25 million with interest rates as low as 4.5% and up to 7 years to repay. You can breathe easy. Enjoy your progress and continue contributing to Brand Jamaica. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Under the law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend. We've been doing it for 50 years, and that's right. The program is brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m., and at 4 and 9:55 p.m., Wednesdays on Power 106 FM.
Yes, Rascava.
When Mr. Spooner make that statement, he was talking to the international press also. So he said he go over there and he make sure, if I may use the word, warn them not to do anything that will jeopardize this program. Hence, Jamaica will be losing out. Right? So if him go over there and tell them, say, don't say nothing at all, we are going to make this program look like it's not the best thing happen to him too, What do you expect him to say when he come back here? Will he say anything that will jeopardize that program?
No, but this is why people need to be empowered to the point where it whatever actions they take, those actions are in the best interest of the individual and the broader group of farm workers. They're supposed to have representatives as well, as far as I understand. They're supposed to be liaison persons. One of them one such person used to work at Power 106 FM, and she has been with that program involved in taking care of farm workers for quite a number of years.
Farm workers said that them go to announce it, some of them get 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours work for the day. They don't make it look like how it used to be them. You get a line of cane to cut, and if you cut that the line of cane, you can go line up and wider one. They must limit the amount of hours. And when you don't know, you are forced to go back and buy things from their shop that the money left up there. You have to
I don't know about that part about buying from their shop, because nobody can stop them from going to, I don't want to call any name, but to going to wherever and shop.
Well, you're not listening to all of the farm workers report, so you will miss some.
That's what you think.
Shop where you're actually not forced by don't pay you if you not go there, but you have to go there and shop with them.
Look, there is an extremely high demand for labor right across the world. Not least of all, the demand for the kind of labor that is being carried out by our farm workers. We must stop playing small as a people. We have to get to a point where we recognize the power that we have in our hands and we act accordingly.
Mr. Malcolm, you see, when you don't behave according to what your masters expect, you don't get a request.
Well, find somewhere else.
No, but most farm workers want to be called back next season again.
Yes, well, they take what they get then, if they are not prepared to take action.
No, we have a current minister, and we need to see that the playing field is
But this is the point I am making. It cannot be that you just go on the veranda and talk about these things, or you in a chat group on WhatsApp, you talk about these things. It must be brought to the fore. A group of you get together and there's a representative, I don't remember the name of the organization right now in Canada, that helps farm workers, not just from Jamaica, but elsewhere. And you put it out there. I'm saying that's the kind of activism that is necessary. Otherwise, you may as well just suck up everything else and lap your tail and take what you get.
That was done, that's why the minister have to went there. Them never don't sit down on it and grumble amongst themselves. They talk out on it. That's why the minister go over there. But he goes over there now to protect the program and the benefit that Jamaica might get. I don't know whether
more importantly than protecting the program is protecting the people involved in the program. If you protect the people, then the program will be safe and secure. The people, put the people at the center of the program.
Of course, the average Canadian and American now go do them the hard work with the farm workers from the different places go over they go do.
All I know, the market is ripe right now for labor. It's an employees market right now, quite frankly, globally.
So when you go over there, you must go on behalf of the workers, not behalf of the program. Because when the program done, your workers are going to come back and they are seeing way.
Yeah, well, you can actually do both, except that the workers would still be at the center. You can do both. Let's leave it there for now, Raskaba. Lines are full. Thanks for the call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Well, I came on the program when the man you called John was on, and I think I heard the last part that he spoke about. What was it again? I don't remember what. I heard us call it too, and you just finished talking to him about the farmer program and all of that. It's the first time probably in my life, and I believe I might be older. You are near that have witnessed such ineptitude in our leaders in our country, who seem not to care. I heard about what he said about Mr. Samuda, and I listened to Miss what's her name, Trevor Williams, the education minister, when the Teachers Association said teachers were going away, and a response, and probably many others. And I hope to God that this new opposition leader doesn't get into that fray of just nonchalantly say things because of politics. That if he gets there, people start to judge him hard, as we have judged others. Because I'm tired of hearing political leaders say, "Devils before me did it too." And I don't know why we are afraid to call out our leaders to say, look here, if we are creatures of education, we need to learn from those mistakes that those before us have made and never make them again, or go down the same path. Because you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect results to be different. And that's what's happening to Jamaica. And I'm really, really hoping that we, the people in media, who some of us look to talk out and to call out the people. We'll call out the people and say, stop it. I don't want to hear that again, that, oh, did do it before, I would never do it before. There's still people saying, Michael Malik government did it, Siaga government did it, who government did it, that was government never did it.
Well, you're not going to escape that. And what you want, no. We're not going to escape that. It happens in daily life. It's not just to do with politics. It happens in our daily lives. In fact, listen up, we speak more about the past than the present and the future. That's just a fact. That's what the experts have researched. It's just a fact of life. But what we must ensure, what those of us who have the privilege of serving in the capacity as talk show hosts. What we have to ensure is the veracity of the information that is being put forward, because we have some people who call talk shows just to throw words, right? As opposed to put together an argument that is supported by facts. So you're not never ever going to get away from what happened yesterday, last week, last month, last 5 years, last 10 years, last 15, etc. Not going to get away from that. What we have to ensure is that the information is factual, it is truthful.
And I hear you and I agree with you. Yeah? But it is time our political leaders stop coming to make excuses for who did do it when they were there, who never did when they were there.
And I say to you again, you're not going to escape that. It's not going to change.
And do the thing in a different way and see if we get a different and a much better result. It's sickening, man. It's really, really very sickening when I listen to some of these people. And here you mentioned the thing with Mr. Samuda, with the gentleman. And I mentioned the one that I heard, I was watching the news, and saw Mr. Williams made about the teachers moving away. Oh my God. It tells me.
What did she say?
That she's not. She didn't use this word. I'm going to use the word because it means the same thing. She's not fazed by the fact that teachers are going away, because it's not the first time. It's really not the first time, but not make it look so. It's the first time so teacher go one time. Next week when school open, we're going to see. And guess who? Is it more experienced teachers gone? You're going to be. They're going to be replaced by.
Except that when people, as I've said before on this program, long before this latest talk, Jamaica is not a prison. People are free to pursue whatever opportunities that align with their goals and dreams and aspirations. We don't want to hold back anybody in that regard, right? What we want to try our best to do, since we know, because I think it's the essential point being made, is that this is not new. This has been happening for some time now. What we have not done, what we have not been successful at, is properly researching and planning for the inevitable, because we know it will happen. Exactly. And therefore we must plan accordingly. We should never be caught flat-footed, because this is not something new.
And it's my saying, we should have learned from the mistakes of the past. And I heard you ask, I come back to the point I really want to make. I heard you ask, if anybody would ever come with a plan now to combat crime in the country. And I said I must ask you, this is why I called. Have you ever listened to Dr. Hubert Gale?
Dr. Herbert Gale?
Yes.
For centuries. For centuries.
All right. Well, I've listened to Dr. Gale almost every time he's on. And Dr. Gale always seems to be willing to say, because of research, some of the problems that we have as a society, why our criminality rate is climbing and climbing and climbing. And what we need to do to prevent, to cauterize, and to what? Is anybody listening to him? Is anybody invited to that table?
Well, he has done work locally. He has been invited to tables locally and internationally. But it's a function of what they do. He can't, and I think he has said as much as before, and he's not alone in that regard. There are a lot of professionals and experts who have provided their expertise, who have done the work, put the data out there, and people just do whatever they feel like doing it, including not using it. Right? And how do you fix that? How do you fix that? we have to wrap it here for now, and we have our regular feature. Thanks for the call. We have our regular feature coming up right now. This is Jamaica. Stand by.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency. Commission customers, you can now pay your bills online using your Visa card or NCB key card by visiting the website www.nicjamaica.com. Select Pay Your Bill option, then follow the instructions, or visit any one of their office locations and pay using your debit card. The National Irrigation Commission Limited, irrigation, making the difference in agriculture. It's the show that engages you with stimulating and intriguing discussions to spice up your night. It's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Hello? Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
Hear pertinent advice and share your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters. Get the answers you need for your burning questions. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
You know, look like she did love me too. But then still, and she pushed me out, so we will be.
That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, keeping your company Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. till midnight, right here on Power 106 FM. It's probing.
There has not been a single year since 1974 where the poor has not been.
Part of the national campaign against inflation. We have to have a shake-up of the public sector boards leading to increased efficiency, cut the corruption and the mismanagement, and get the agencies to function in a more efficient manner.
It's Power Talk, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Identifying challenges and finding solutions in a globalized world. Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays. Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday on Power 106 FM. Join us.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. As we said, it's time for the This is Jamaica segment during Both Sides of the Story. It's a Tuesday afternoon, 3:33 in Kingston, Jamaica, 4:33 in Miami, Florida.
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing upon the shores where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
Indeed, the voice there of Peter Gracie, the founder of This Is Jamaica, the poet behind This Is Jamaica, the magnet behind the This Is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship competition, and we could go on and on and on. But Peter Gracie is not the one who is going to be on right now. We are happy, we are delighted to have joining us on both sides of the story on this afternoon's edition of This Is Jamaica. Delighted to have joining us Dr. Laverne Deer, President of the Female Development World Organization Incorporated. Hello, Dr. Deer. How are you?
I'm good, Dervan. How are you on this blessed Tuesday?
I am fine, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of This Is Jamaica on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And thanks as well to the president of This Is Jamaica, who is as busy as a bee, but she still finds time to serve in this capacity. Carol Chang, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having us on.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. Let's remind those who know and enlighten those who don't, Carol Chang, about This Is Jamaica and what would you love This Is Jamaica to mean whenever we hear This Is Jamaica, whenever we see the words This Is Jamaica. How would you like us to receive This Is Jamaica, to think about This Is Jamaica?
The first thing that comes to my mind where this organization is concerned is that This Is Jamaica is preserving the culture of Jamaica through arts and the arts
and poetry.
And poetry, mm-hmm. Yes. And so through our children. Mm-hmm. And so, as you know, we do it especially through our scholarship program, our annual scholarship program, which is get ready to start soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dr. Laverne Deer, can you tell us about this nexus, this association between This Is Jamaica and the Female Development World Organization, Inc.?
So, yes, the last time you interviewed me, I did mention briefly that something was in the works of a program. And for the first time, FDWO will have its human trafficking awareness and prevention program funded. And it is funded by the Broward Sheriff's Office, BSO as we call them, who are seeking programs in areas such as crime prevention. Well, you know, human trafficking is a crime. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that is affecting children as well as adults. So they're focusing on crime reduction. So we proposed a program as to how we can reduce crime in Broward County around children. So we're happy to have partnered with This Is Jamaica. And when I presented it to Corral, the overall goal, yes, we're going to be targeting children between the ages of 8 and 14. So can you imagine an organization receiving funding from a sheriff law enforcement, and it's going to be targeting within the diaspora, children within Broward County, but we're working with organizations within the diaspora. And I was listening to the poem that Peter, I believe it was Peter, who was saying that how much pride we as Jamaicans take in the fact that, one, we're Jamaican, and two, that we don't live in Jamaica, but we still want to preserve that culture. And this partnership between Female Development World Organization and This Is Jamaica is preserving that culture for the safety and creating an environment for our children to be raised free of these scourge that are affecting their development.
And what is the nature and extent and indeed the scope of work that This Is Jamaica is looking to do under this initiative in Broward? Carol?
So what we're looking to do is to teach. So we're going to be targeting about 40 children. This is the program. I'll give you an overview of the program.
Sure.
We're targeting 40 kids between the ages of 8 and 14. Statistics have shown that children who are trafficked between the ages of 9 and 4, actually 11 and 14. So our goal, when I sat with Corral, to ask what age group do you think is sufficient, and we thought that it would be good to start at an earlier age group. Prior to what statistics show, because it's about educating the families and educating the children to avoid them from getting into this lifestyle. So we have put together a model that's going to be teaching human trafficking, climate. Yes, we're going to be including the environment into this as well as the arts and culture. So we're going to be teaching the warning signs of human trafficking, and can you imagine how interesting that would be to be able to package it in where it's youth friendly, and the language it's entertaining or engaging enough for the kids, as well as having arts and crafts. We have our environmental specialist who is going to be working with us on this program, and she actually resides in Jamaica. So that's Moira Williams. So she's going to be focusing on the environmental aspect of it. SDW is going to be focusing on the human trafficking education of it. And of course, This Is Jamaica. Peter, who is the expertise, is going to be focusing on the arts and culture. So you're talking about bringing in 3 key components of teaching our children, not just of the danger signs, but also of signs to build their self-esteem and to also make them engage and aware of the environment and the world that they live in. As environment also play a major role in crime as well.
And it sounds like a lot of work to be done. Carol Chang, how much of that work will be shared with This Is Jamaica?
Okay, well, This Is Jamaica organization is actually going to be managing the project, where we have, along with some of the teachers that Female World Development has, we're also going to be including some teachers of our own, people who have volunteered with us, as well as Mr. Gracie, to be a part of getting the play program, which is what this is called, the play program, together. We're going to start in October, but for us, This Is Jamaica, towards the end of the program, or the big component at the end is to allow all the kids, which we're looking at about 40 kids that have participated, to be able to communicate what they have learned throughout the program with skits, grouping them, pairing them, so they can communicate it through skits, poetry, as a way of showing the development throughout the program.
Yes.
And so we look forward to this. We have carefully crafted and a module for this, and so we look forward to the end product of this program.
Yeah. And Dr. Deer, what is the life of this project?
So this program is going to be funded, and it's called a PLAY program, providing awareness through leadership to youth, and it's going to be over a 3-month period. So we're seeking to start in October. And at the end of the program, the children will be taken on a field trip to a museum. So they're going to learn about these tough subject matters, and then at the end, we will take them on a field trip. Thankfully, the cost, the funding for this is $10,000. And this is real. This is huge because we'll be able to buy materials. We'll be able to pay the staff, and we'll be able to feed the kids and take them out on a field trip. So
one moment, please. Tell us some more right after the break, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. The University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, UCC, is the only University of London recognised teaching centre in Jamaica, offering teaching and tutorial support for the Certificate of Higher Education in Common Law and the Bachelor of Laws programmes. The benefits of tutorial support include expert tutors, peer engagement, structured learning and higher completion rates. Register today by visiting our website at www.ucc.edu.jm. or call us at 876-906-3000.
Under the law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 50 years, and that's right. The program is brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and 9:55 p.m. Wednesdays on Power 106 FM.
It's the This is Jamaica segment here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're delighted to have this week Dr. Laverne Deer, President of the Female Development World Organization Incorporated, and the President of This is Jamaica, Carol Chang. We've been learning more about the collaborative efforts between these two organizations. And it looks like September and October will be two busy months for you both, Dr. Deer and Carol Chang. Can you remind us of the details of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship competition, Carol? And because we're not too far from the period when you start accepting applications, are we?
That's right, Dervan. So in the next couple of weeks, when school reopen, we're going to be sending out. Kids will be able to sign up with This is Jamaica. Memos will be going to all the schools as we did last year, and giving the children in schools all across the island, not missing out any. It doesn't matter if you're in a private school, a public school, you are welcome to join to fill out an application. And so what it is that they would have to do a rendition of the poem, This is Jamaica, with a video, and send it in. And so it's a two process where we will do eliminations of the top 10, and then we will go to the top 3 sometime after. And so the competition, the finals will be towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the scholarship money will be $2,500, which will be split among the top 3.
Mm-hmm. And so what do parents and guardians, and indeed their children need to know at this stage? Is there anything that would be on your list of priority for them, or should be on their priority list as we get closer to registration opening on the 5th of September?
Right. So we have they can visit thisisjamaica.org, and so there are lists of what is needed in terms of submission of their rendition, as well as they can look at previous videos on our YouTube channel. This is Jamaica YouTube channel to get an idea of what the kids did last year, which was remarkable. So at the end of the day, what we're looking for is creativity, right? And we want to feel the culture exhuming through the poetry, the rendition. And so that's all it is. The most creative way of presenting the rendition of this. This is Jamaica.
Well, we can't wait. It's going to be quite something to behold. In the meantime, Dr. Laverne Deer, President of Female Development World Organization, what's your calendar looking like as far as the work of your organization is concerned?
We continue to do outreach, and now that we are taking on the fact that we got our first program funded, it gives us an opportunity now to go into other cities and present this program. So the long-term goal is to go into other cities within the U.S. and anywhere else, actually, because it's a program that we are going to be measuring the success of it. Not just the success of the children, but the success of the program itself. So as my goal is to ensure that this program is successful so we can go and implement it into other areas of the U.S., as well as hopefully eventually into the Caribbean. We just had our annual charity gala that we did in July, and that was a success. We had the Broward Sheriff's Office and several other law enforcement, which we're excited that we are working with law enforcement. Don't take it lightly for this program because, one, you're looking at law enforcement who are seeking to bridge the gap, working with NGOs within the community because they themselves know that they can't do it by themselves. So when you have law enforcement now working with us, it's only going to open up the doors for long-term change for our communities and our children. In January, it's Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and as you know, we are also the Caribbean Anti-Trafficking Committee commissioned by the Council General. Shout out to Oliver Mayer working with us on this as well. So we're also looking to do some outreach and community outreach for the month of January coming up. So the program and outreach, and that's our goal for starting to work towards changing the world, changing our communities, and eventually changing the world.
Indeed. Very well put. And Carol Chang, in terms of this is Jamaica. As we said, September is a big month because that is especially starting the 5th of September when applications are open for those seeking to benefit from the poetry scholarship bursaries. And so I would imagine then that this will be your center of focus for September, or will you be looking at other matters as well?
This is definitely the focus right now, and right behind it, because as that starts in October, we're going to be getting ready to unfold with the play program as we have discussed this evening. So, but for September, definitely the scholarship program. In like a couple of 2 weeks last year, we had over 140 something applicants, and we had to close the window early. So if you are interested, I'm just putting it out there. If you are interested, sign up now before we close, because there is just so much so many applicants we will be able to take. Mm-hmm. So it's a great program. It's very exciting. The kids had great testimonies. Not just the kids, but the parents and the teachers that help the kids. And this is a great time for the parents and the teachers to be able to bond with their students and their children at this time, in helping them prepare for the rendition and scholarship program.
Yeah, and thank you, Carol. And this is Dr. Laverne Deer, another indication of of the kind of partnerships and community engagements that are so critical if we are to strengthen our efforts in programs such as that which the Female Development World Organization Inc. is involved in. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. Collaboration, and it's called the PLAY program.
Mhm.
So just remember, it's play and it's providing leadership through awareness to youth. And again, our what we're doing, we're going out, we're seeking the organization that's going to help to strengthen this and to fund this, and then we're going to collaborate with organizations just as This is Jamaica to execute the program. So not because we're the owner of the program, that doesn't mean we hold on to it in our hands. No, it's a program that we need to reach the grassroots, reach the communities. And in order to do that, we do that through partnership and collaboration. So we're excited to be working with This is Jamaica. And as you see, they're already working, focusing on arts and culture. And that is an important piece in the development of our children. To one, know the importance of arts and how it makes you feel. It provides this level of confidence. And the fact that we're doing it, helping our children. We live here, but we're doing it helping our children in Jamaica, while we're also helping the children in the land that we live. I mean, this is what Jamaica is. This is who Jamaicans are, and we're thankful for that.
Excellent. Well, we're thankful that you could both join us on today's edition of the This is Jamaica interview segment here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. I have to ask you, though, Carol, with respect to the just concluded, for the most part, I think there may be one or two other events to come, but for the most part, the just concluded Jamaica 60 events and activities. In what ways or in what way did This is Jamaica participate in Jamaica 60?
Okay, great. So we did collaborate. There we go again, collaboration, right?
Mm-hmm.
With our consulate office of Miami, the consul general again, Oliver Mayer, who is doing a fabulous job here. Reached out to the This is Jamaica organization, and for Emancipation Day, we did a production that was aired on all their media sites, social media sites, of organizations throughout the diaspora as well as in Jamaica, chiming in with this different pieces of art and culture representing our island of Jamaica.
Excellent.
So that was our portion of the celebration.
Well done in that regard. All right, just before we wrap, we're just about at that point where we wrap. Carol Chang, just remind our listeners at home and abroad how they can learn more about This is Jamaica. Where do they go?
Absolutely. Please join us at thisisjamaica.org online. And then you can go on Facebook, This is Jamaica, and YouTube, This is Jamaica. We're working on our Instagram, but Facebook, YouTube, and online. Please, guys, sign up now. Next week when we open up, sign up. Thisisjamaica.org for the scholarship program. Right, looking forward to seeing what great renditions we're going to have this year.
Definitely. And you, Dr. Dirk, contact information for the Female Development World Organization, Inc.
Yeah, so please follow us on all social media platforms at FDWO. And you may go to visit our website and leave us a comment in our contact page, which is fdwo.org. Again, that's fdwo.org. Or you can DM us directly from any of the social media. We'll be having information on the play program on both websites. This is Jamaica and Female Development World Organization website. So you can visit both.
Thank you very much, Dr. Laverne Deer, President of the Female Development World Organization, Inc., and Carol Chang, President of This is Jamaica. Thank you both very much. All things being well, we'll talk with you again soon.
Yes, have a good one, and as always, keep up the good work.
Thank you. And thank you too, Carol. All the best. This is Jamaica for this week.
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing upon the shores where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
401 on Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quel est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在地点了10:02分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's clear our messages now. Jones Dolores says, blessings, love, and respect to you, Dervan, and viewers alike, watching from Toronto, Canada. Do have yourselves a great day. Same to you, Jones Dolores. Thank you for hitting us up online. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. I'm here listening. Blessings to you too, Faye Weller. Norman Hines in St. Thomas is tuned in. Welcome, Norman Hines. Jennifer Stewart from Kew Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good afternoon to you too, and we convey afternoon greetings on your behalf to all those tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Blessings on this Tuesday afternoon. Sophia Nemard is in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Welcome, Sophia Nemard. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Dervan, keep John's feet to the fire. Jessica, the undefeated Malcolm, says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned into your program in spite of my recovery. May the Lord continue to bless and keep you. Thank you very much, Jessica. Chen Su Cheryl says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Keep up the good work. Interesting program. Thank you, Chen Su Cheryl. Chantal da Costa says, pleasant afternoon, my favorite lecturer. I'm happy to be a listener to your program daily. It's a very informative program. Thank you, Chantal. Also messaging us, Valerie Thompson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Same to you, Valerie Thompson. Jeannie Chambers, good afternoon to you too. Dr. Sharon Wiles, greetings. Thank you. Elder Vincent Mattox, hello. God blessings to you too. Golden Brown, good afternoon to you. And Clarence Reynolds says, big things, Laverne and Carol. in reference to our just concluded segment. Let's go now to your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Love your company, and I enjoy your program while I'm here visiting from New York. This is my last week here. I'm the lady who called about the water. I still don't get the answer.
Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry to hear that. Because it seems what Mr. Cannon was suggesting is that you call the NWC's 1888 number. That was the last information I got from him.
Right.
You know. But I'm so sorry the matter hasn't been resolved and you're looking to head back to New York.
Yes, sir.
Oh dear.
But that's no good.
No, that can't be good. That can't be good at all. Can't be good. All right. And so you have what? Just a few more days left in Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Right. The most I can do is to put in another call. I'll put in another call to Mr. Cannon to see if there's any way in which he can. I suspect the fact that he suggested the toll-free line is an is a.
Did you know I want the word to hear. Jamaica is very flat and a lot of things. You've been calling these phone lines, both the bank, water commission, public service. You call until your hand drop. These people don't answer phone.
Mhm. And I'm wondering if part of the reason for putting forward the toll-free numbers to NWC, if what Andrew Cannon is trying to say to us, or maybe what his managers have said in prevailing upon him, is that there is an established call center and that is where customers can have their matters dealt with. Obviously, that hasn't worked for you.
When I was talking to a friend of mine, she's there for visiting too, couple of us. And it's like we all saying the same story. When you come here, and when you hear people say they're not coming back here, don't blame them. Because these people don't care. They don't answer phone. When you go to take care of business, they judge them so they don't even care. You've been getting there early in the morning, you stand up. I can tell you a lot of experience with this place here. I'm being as when you leave this country, you have to on the move. You can't be dragging foot. So if you get to work for 9, you can't tell them that it was late. You have to be on time for everything.
In fact, if you're on time, you're late. You're supposed to be there ahead of time.
That's right. But when you come here and you see them, my girlfriend, you become like she was crying. You come here to take care of anything about at the bank, the post office, you like build the water. Wait, come on.
Yeah.
This place need a shake up from this government, all of them sitting down, some of them doing nothing to wake up these people. You think when you're abroad and you go into a place and you ask a question, you think those workers can really joke with you? Because you have to either you find the manager, the supervisor, there's something. But down here, everybody run their one thing. Nobody cares.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do in that regard. A whole lot of work in terms of the way in which we we deal with the affairs of our people looking to do business with the state and having issues, whether it be phone issues or just generally the paucity of communication between customers and customer service representatives.
It's bad. Mr. Dervan, it's bad. And next,
Yeah.
before I finish on the line,
Yes.
you want to check in your phone when you're coming in or you're going. You know that one person been pushing all 3-4 wheelchair one time. Then push you here, leave you here.
I saw that. I think that has to do with the shortage. There is a shortage. Amazing. There's a shortage of labor, and at the same time, there is a demand for labor. That's the situation right now, and it shouldn't be that difficult to fix, considering that there are people who who are prepared to take up some of these positions. So that's another matter that needs to be dealt with, and that has been brought on by COVID-19 and related matters.
I went into the country, and Jamaica is the worst when you come on the plane and a wheelchair to get up and go on. You will be the first one at the airport, and you will be the last one because they have to take one person have to take 3-4 of us.
Well, yeah. Well, for what it's worth, it wasn't always like this. In fact, in my travels, I've noticed it's like an army of wheelchair attendants and operators. We have seen that in the past, and as I said, there is both a shortage and a demand for labor in Jamaica right now, and one place where you can see it and feel it in more ways than one is at the airport.
Yep.
So we hope the Minister of Tourism is aware of this, because he's busy trying to get more people to visit Jamaica, and we have to ensure that we are prepared. It can't be that we're unprepared and we're telling people to come.
I'm telling you, sir.
Yes.
It's not easy, but a nice thing to your program. I have a couple more days to go, and I would like to hear from National Water Commission to come and to do the situation.
I'll see if I can put in another word with Mr. Cannon.
You have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Damien Pollock says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Keep up the great work. One love, brother. Good afternoon, Damien Pollock. Sean Chambers says, good day, Uncle Dervan. To you too, Sean Chambers. And Courtney Thompson has a word or two for Comrade John, and describing whatever he was saying as a fair amount of nonsense. He goes on to say, Mr. Malcolm, some of these farm workers are accustomed to a particular standard of living here and expect the same standard there living on a farm. Well, as long as you're not treating people like farm animals, quite frankly, but people are expected, I mean, we're talking about human beings here, and there are some fundamental amenities that must be in place. Whether you're a farm worker or any other type of worker. Courtney Thompson says, if they are not satisfied with the conditions and how they're being treated, stay home. Asha Ash in London says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, tuning in from London, UK. Welcome, Asha Ash. Natalie Winter says, great afternoon, all from Washington Gardens, Kingston 20, Jamaica. Welcome, Natalie Winter. Alvin Daly says, good afternoon, Brother Dervan. Good afternoon, Alvin Daly. Thanks for joining us. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon, Mr. Coombs.
Yeah, women recognize something now on the phone. I heard on a radio station yesterday. United Station.
Why not? Which radio station is that?
Nationwide.
What did you hear on Nationwide?
A ship was passing and over somewhere, and two men get sick by the ship, and then throw them off now. We don't know if they did or what, but they appear on mine, and they pick them then over, take care of them and treat them and give them food or something until them revive. But when it
really?
It was a big
that was that. Where did you hear that you said on Nationwide?
Yes, sir.
What that was yesterday or today?
Huh?
When did you hear that?
It could be yesterday or last night, sir. If it had last night, it didn't hear it the night before.
So that was in the news that there was a ship passing Hanover?
Talking history or something.
Talking history?
Yeah.
Well, that was history then. That wasn't something that happened yesterday.
Yesterday?
Mm.
No, what is women event, you know? What is happening?
No, I'm saying that wasn't something that happened yesterday. That's something that you heard yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah, that's a pre-recorded. It's a replay of talking history. Yes. Yes.
The book that I gave you, Alabama 24th of July 1937. You know, when the mark, I print out that paper and type it out, and give it to him to write on my book. You know, when I put money, me buy the first of July.
Uh-oh.
All right. You can't look at the book if you don't. I'm number 2. I am the 5th child for my mother. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. They put 4 child. Right?
Yes.
I was working.
So they didn't, that sounds like they should have given you the book to look it over so you could make some of those corrections before it went to publication.
No, no, but when I give it paper, they give me process paper. They will print it over. So when I bring the book home, me show me paper. Me have a photocopy of the paper.
One moment, please. Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在，地点了10点10:16. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Yes, young people, we know you're still on your summer break, but you know what we always say, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Couple of messages coming through. Uh, we still have Mr. Coombs on the line?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there you are.
Yeah, so when you change my comedy book, Mr. Look one way around. So you say, I just say go. So me never quiet, but me know when me ban. Alright, I was working 4 days a week, 12 shillings and 6 pounds a day. 425 kids and 6 pounds and 2 shillings. 2 pounds a week. And them calculate it now and put so much and so much. So sometimes, yeah, even first time days, when that person, bigger person, where they let who can read, the person who wrote the letter, know, they put what they want to put there, you have any idea about that?
Any idea about what specifically? Because you said a lot of things a while ago.
Huh?
Specifically what? Be it,
Sometimes, man, you might, I can't read and I come to you and say, Mr. Malcolm, let me find all letter now. And sometimes when me tell you go put in it because me can't.
oh yes, that's how it used to be. That's one of the reasons why we have some of the spellings that we have for names and so on.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Since I'm Malcolm, I don't know if it's but sometimes me can't remember everything once. Nobody can remember everything.
Just take your time. Once you remember it, just pick up the phone and call and share it.
No problem.
Thanks for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. Sharon Richards, good afternoon to you and all the other citizens of the parish of Westmoreland. Andrea Peart, good afternoon. Grace Shim says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I was visiting the homeland last week and had some long-needed family time. Went to country at Treasure Beach for a few days. Back in Florida, but need to return sooner than later. What good. Same to you, Grace Shim. Thanks for sharing. All the best to you. Take care. And who's this now? I think we told Alvin Daly good afternoon already. Dehi Awesome Creations says, Dervan, good afternoon. What happened in Heroes Park? I Don't know if it's the same reference you're making, but unfortunately, a homeless man died after being set on fire. And right now, there's a $500,000 reward being offered by the Ministry of Local Government for information on those involved in setting a homeless man on fire in the vicinity of National Heroes Park yesterday morning. The man died as a result. And the local government minister has described the incident as a savage act. Indeed, it is savagely sick. Why would anybody do that? Can you imagine the misery of this individual already living on the street, only for him to be set on fire? What depravity! What depravity! Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, I have a problem, sir.
What's happening?
Yes, sir, I went to the bank at Falmouth. I was robbed by someone.
The bank in Falmouth. Which bank was that?
Credit union, sir. The corporate credit union.
Which credit union?
I think you want to disgrace, you corporate credit union disgrace.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, sir, I went to I take my book and I take my receipt from the electoral office and I get new ideas yet.
Mm-hmm.
And a whole ID. Give it to the girl and the girl. So that you can ask me what money you need. I tell her she said she can give me that amount of money. That information. So send me up by the electoral office to get the ID. Before he could attend to me. Then
so you got the ID?
Sir?
Did you receive the ID?
Yes, I did receive the ID and she sent me up there.
Okay. So what happened now?
Then when I came back, so she took up the money. But she didn't hold back the book. My account book, so when I go inside, I see someone who targeted me by my name and the place where I live. So I don't know whether somebody could get my name in the place where I live. And just post up on me and rob me.
Oh no. Did you go to the police?
And I reported to the police, sir.
Anything yet? Have they said anything?
And the police did tell me, sir, if they hear anything, they will contact me. And to call the information.
Oh dear. So sorry to hear. So sorry to hear about that.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. You have to try to, I don't know, it sounds, I don't want to say too much because we don't want to impugn people's character and so on, but it is rather suspicious that people who you don't know have your details, know your...
I thought you young people target the older people who are 14, 75 now. So these young people are try to target
and you know, that's why, not for the first time, I've raised it on this program that we need, and I think didn't Peter Bunting start a little group of young people to help out senior citizens? Was that only because it was near election? I don't know. Because I didn't hear anything else after that. But seriously, I've been saying for some time now that we need to consider organizing groups of individuals who we would have vetted. In other words, make sure that they have not been charged for any crimes, that there are no adverse reports about them, and that we get together these young people to assist. I don't know how it would be funded, or how, maybe there might need to be a small fee, but we have to get more trustworthy people involved in helping our senior citizens in their later years. It is important, and I want to suggest to, I don't know, I'm thinking I know Ministry of Labor and Social Security. That's a government entity, obviously. There could be. I think there's an organization we have featured before where they do home visits.
Sure.
They are bona fide people. They have been vetted and cleared and clean, and would be quite helpful in this regard. It's something we need to do because you're right. More and more people young people are taking advantage of our senior citizens, which is not good. That is not good. And find more secure ways to help them to carry on their otherwise. Yeah, we're so sorry to, and we really hope that there's somebody or some group out there listening who will come up with a program of working with young people, Christian-minded young people, to work with senior citizens, if even for a fee, or if that could be part of some kind of it would have to be thought out and worked through. But I think the important part of it is getting people who are honest, people of integrity, people who are kind, people who are respectful. If we could only get a group of such individual in different areas according to the needs. And again, this is why I I have never had a problem with any ID program, except for the uh, the ill prepared portion of the first iteration of the NIDS, which the judges essentially threw out in terms of significant sections of it that it had to be reworked. But this is what we keep saying. How do we serve? How are we going to be able to effectively serve our people if we don't know, first of all, that they exist? If we don't know where they live, if we don't know what kind of conditions they're living under, if we are able to gather that kind of data, then it means we won't be throwing money down a deep, dark hole, but we can be more specific in our allocations and ensure that we get value for money. That's really where we have to go. We have to know our people, and September is coming up, the start of the census. Please give your support to the census takers. The data is important so that we can make more informed decisions, so that we don't end up spending more than we are supposed to on particular projects, etc. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Thank you very much for the call. We just try and be extra careful, though, as best as you can. You can't trust everybody. You have to be so careful. All right. Thanks for the call. The circumstances notwithstanding. Take care. Bye bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. Blessed noon.
Good afternoon. Your conversation with Clive wasn't enough today. I thought you had your fill.
You know, so we have
Clive Mullings.
You know, so we have a child. So.
And you were on with Dr. Gale as well today, weren't you?
That's why I'm going to say I'm public educated, I know.
No, I'm just saying. You are really and truly on a campaign. At this rate, we're going to have to play before you start speaking. The following is paid for by Ras Lloyd.
Okay, and give thanks. You know?
No, but you have to settle the bill first. You can't talk yet. You have to settle the bill.
Ras Lloyd and him bigger brother Dervan. Yes, I respect. Sitting there, when we have to see your script, two little things want to talk about it, but me, you know, for the politicians, them, they know everyone, you know, where everyone living in the country, you know.
They do?
If you know, in town voting, when they people take out the whole,
oh,
them out of their house, they know everyone condition. I just wicked and wicked. After them going up power, then respond to the people them again.
But thank you for making that point, because if we are really serious about serving people, then during that election period, when we gather additional information about members of the electorate in the various polling divisions, how about using that data for good? So we know already that Miss So and so is bedridden, and therefore she has to get assistance, etc., etc., etc. And we know that Mass So and so not seeing so well. In fact, he's almost fully blind now, etc. And with that kind of information, if we're really serious about serving people, we would use that data for good.
Of course, but they're not serious. You know, me, you're a politician.
Hold on, tell us after the break, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 4:30.
Yes, sir. What did you hear the politicians say?
We used to have the great patch of grey in our head, Colonel.
No, you have to be careful now, because you're in terms of
In them in election time, when they want to vote, then got Miss Matty Glory but drink out and butter pan him.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, he said them got poor people yard but sit down and drink out that them butter pan with them a drink out that they want to vote.
Yes.
So these politicians, them know everything what going, you know?
Yeah, but surely they can do better with that knowledge, that information that they have.
Them can do better, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Them should do better as people of African ancestry, who know the history and everything we revere as a black family here on the island and in the world. Them have all of the history, you know.
Yes.
So why them so cruel to the mother and father and them brother and sister? You know?
Yeah, well, it means more of us then have to hold them accountable, to say to them, look, you have all this information, you know where these people are, and you know what their circumstances are, and you have done very little or nothing to assist these people, and we are demanding that you take some action. That kind of activism is necessary.
Like what the American news on the radio say, the plantation workers here from Jamaica, them in a foreigner, say them a ball about, them a treat them like you. You hear about it?
Yes.
I work on the plantation of a foreigner.
Yes.
Jamaica.
Yes.
So, Jamaica government, when I call for Jamaica government, I just say, because Jamaica government is a member of the Organization of American States. That them and their colleagues who set up free trade, free cheap labor, free foreign, you know? So I just speak that all of them know what go on. I just leave them evil. You know what I'm saying? Because them never evil, they would support a constitutional monarchy system of government. The whole of them in this judgment know where the history and where we pass through and then still supporting this system of government. You know?
What are their options? What should they be doing right now then?
Turn to Marcus Messiah to have him lay the foundation in philosophy and teaching, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You say what more can him do lay the foundation and open wide the door to I and my sons and daughter to walk right in. You know, right scholar like to walk right in.
Yeah, but what kind of practical steps would need to be taken now to walk away from what you want us to walk away from? What are we walking away from in order to go to where? To go where?
And what we should walk away, I should say.
Yeah, so so walking away from that which you think is abominable in the monarchy, etc., etc. What should we be walking towards? What direction should we be going in?
Africa.
So just leave Jamaica and go to Africa.
Yeah.
And what is likely to happen when we do that?
Remember, we leave our home and family in the 15th, 16th century to come down here for the slave trade. We leave the family in, the brothers and sisters, our father and mother, so we go home back to our family. It's not nothing strange, you know? We leave our family there.
So what will that settling in be like? Will it be just will we just be just free to just land somewhere and just start building a house or something, or will houses be there ready for us?
All right, remember the earthquake with the Ghana Yeti?
Yes.
Now that was not the recent one, you know.
I know.
When the country where people from Haiti come from, call, say they must send home them have to give them fertile land and build house to them. And now the system of government around Haiti, they must send home the people, then they educate them. You know, call them education. It's a story from both Britain and America, these tyrants of the world were enslaved us. You know? You see the understanding. Every man I look to America and India, you know. You know, so we get a lick in a way. The people them, the same people them, the shackle. People burn.
Right. But what I'm trying to get from you though, I'm trying to get that sense of direction. So if we are to shed what we know, the cloak or cloth, the coat we're currently wearing, if we're to shed all of that, what are we going to? What is the move?
Black man government and the black woman government is here in this country from 1958, and the headlight of such movement was 1966 when the Kings of Kings visit this floor is here and owners of the people.
Yes, so what we need to do now is to find the money for our plane ticket, for our plane fare, and head straight to the continent of Africa.
We can do so, but the poor and the have not, and them and those who have no helper, you know, we want repatriation for all those people, you know.
Yes.
Jamaica right now, the shackle come off our foot, but institutional.
All right. And let's say we get assistance for them, and those of us who can pay our way, we pay and we go. Where on the continent of Africa will we be landing? Africa has 54 countries. 54 countries on the continent. No. Hold on. There are 54 countries on the continent. Which one must we land on when we leave Jamaica? No, man. No. Let's be direct. Time is going. We have a lot of other people waiting. So we must go to Ghana. So we must go to Ghana. All right. Now, if we're going to Ghana, who is going to who do we turn to in terms of ours? Because we're gonna need houses, right? So we just go and we'll just get houses like that, or we'll have to build our own houses.
So I say we leave our family there, so our family will come and receive us.
Oh, really?
Of course.
How do you define that now? How do you know that whoever is coming to receive you is not coming to deceive you?
Okay, because we are not deceivers. We are the gods and goddesses of earth, you know?
Well, if we go back to the history of you might have to rethink what you just said.
Much education.
But nobody can brainwash for permission. Huh?
We make we speak English.
That is the official language of Jamaica.
After what?
It's the official language of Jamaica.
Institutional slavery system or slave holding. English was introduced to us.
Yes, and we have learned it. What does that say about us? We are sharp like razor to learn English and learn it so well.
And we don't sharpen our language because we do come out and beat out of us.
What is our language? What is our language?
That's why we look to Britain and America.
No, tell us which language is our language?
When at the redemption of Africa, when we go home,
yes.
When Africa redeemed from Commonwealth rule, the mixed program.
Do you know how many languages are spoken in Nigeria alone?
Yeah, so we have to rectify that when we go home, you know.
All right. All right, Ras Lloyd. Thank you very much for the call. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We have a lot of messages to clear. Carlton Levy says, Sir Malcolm, John can campaign all he wants. His party will not come to government. He's on every radio station with nonsense. Well, he is free to express himself, uh, all other things being equal, and you are free to express yourself as well. Crocs in Black River says, greetings. If the PSOJ wants to show themselves to be the force for good in the society, they should also use their influence to call for the speedy resolution of some long standing corruption matters, such as the case involving Ruel Reed and the one to do with the man who used to work at Nessol, who was found with $80 million in one of three high end vehicles that were parked at a house in Old Harbor Bay. Corruption is the biggest fertilizer of crime in Jamaica, says Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much, Crocs in Black River. And only the people, Crocs in Black River, can fix it. That's what it boils down to. Because people know for every crime that is committed in this country, somebody knows. And we're talking at all levels, as the late Wilmot Perkins would say, from tap to bottom. Seriously. Yeah. Thank you very much for your message, Crocs in Black River. Also, Del Mignot says, good day, Mr. Dervan. How are you doing? I'm fine, thanks. What I'm talking about, I do mostly girls and small boys uniforms. Mr. Dervan, I don't have enough hands to do uniforms. Most parents are doing up to 4 uniforms per child because since COVID, them outgrow the uniforms. This has been my best time since COVID. Raskava don't know anything. Tailors and dressmakers are having a grand time. I have to be refusing work. This time of year is always good for dressmakers, except for COVID time. I'm overwhelmed, thank God, says Del Mignot. Thanks for sharing your experience with us, Del Mignot. Rohan Johnson from Atlas says, big up to all my family, friends, and co workers. Coming from Rohan Johnson, Atlas Ocho Rios. Roy Lawrence says, good evening, teacher. Good afternoon. As for the farm workers in Canada, we in Jamaica don't have any leverage to bargain. Another thing, John need to look at the PNP fractious image, some wearing different color shirts to show their disruptive intentions. They should form their own party. Yes, teacher, tell John next time he calls to read Gordon Robinson's article in the Gleaner of August 21. Crime has always been out of control. Yeah, well, we've been saying that. We remember we often quote or replay in our own way that conversation between Monty Perkins and Oliver Clark. When Monty Perkins said, Mr. Clark, don't you think Jamaica is in a crisis? Mr. Clark said, Monty, for as long as I can remember, Jamaica has always been in a crisis. Yeah. So it means we are yet to find the formula to fix most things in this country. Andrew McPherson says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Blessings to you and the whole staff of Power 106 FM. Thank you, Andrew McPherson. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Good to hear from you. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and your listeners. If the farm workers in Canada are dissatisfied with the condition in which they are working, they have a right to speak out. They are exchanging labor for money. If the farmers are not pleased with the service the workers are giving, they are going to speak out as well. Clarky Bless, Hunstown, St. Mary. Thank you, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. Let's go now to the listener who goes by the moniker, Moniker, the moniker Bunty. Good afternoon, Bunty. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Oh, Mr. Malcolm, I'm glad speaking to you again. How is the evening and the listener?
I am fine, thanks. And you? Hello? 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 Internet troubles on your end. Our internet here is quite steady. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think this team need to boost up, for it's simply this little breeze out the weather. You find it? So I don't understand.
Anyway, we lost you at anyway.
Oh my.
Hello? Some slight interruptions, yes.
You're hearing me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying I'm not speaking for myself alone, but the part program at Spanish Town at the NIS office, the elders went there, some of them, and when it's not for them time, it might be knowing that the alphabetical system, like the A and B and B and M and C or whatever. And I'm saying if
Hello?
you're not hearing.
Lost you at God. I'm saying.
Oh boy. Mr. You're hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I was saying they need some proper security there, and I think they should have accommodation for the crowd that is meeting there at all times. You have to be standing about there in the sun, not because of our own benefit. I know you know.
Where are you talking about? Where are you talking about, please? We might have missed that in the breaking up of the line. Hello?
Spanish Town? The part called at Spanish Town, the NIS office.
Oh, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:46 on Power 106.
Monkeypox is in Jamaica. If you're experiencing fever, intense headache, muscle aches, and/or rash on the skin, you must isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. All members of the public should wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:13. 现在地点了5点cha shi san fen. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thank you so much for staying with us here on your program. Inez Iona Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and viewers. I'm super late. Let's see if we can go back to Bunty on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, hearing you now.
Yeah, I'm saying the park program. There's a crowd that gather there most of the time, and they don't have can facilitate the people in a proper manner. They have to be standing up on the sidewalk all around. And then the elders, when they get there, and if it's not their time to go, they have to be there in the sun from 5:30 in the morning till up to 3 o'clock. No accommodation.
Yes, it ties in. It ties in with some of what I was saying earlier on, that we really need to do more to care for and protect our senior citizens. So in that situation you just described, in Spanish Town, I believe it is. Imagine now
Yeah.
if we had a core, CORPS, a core of
Yeah.
young professionals, let's just say high school students. They just left high school, pre-university students, and we train them in terms of how to, and we vet them. Vetting is important. We have to make sure they don't have a criminal record, etc., etc. And we're able to have them in that setting where you're dealing with senior citizens. So while the tellers or the customer service reps are dealing with senior citizens, you those who are in the lines or seated elsewhere waiting their turn, you can have some of the young people just checking with them what are the services they're looking to access, and whatever information they need to have, and talk them through the process, etc., and make sure they are seated, in fact, and in a cool environment, air conditioned and all, so that they are treated with the level of respect that they deserve. They are senior citizens. Something we don't do well at. Some of us like to discard our seniors. That is no way to treat a fellow human being.
Certainly. For I went there, Mr. Malcolm, and talked to a security, and the security tell me he would go in and say something to somebody and get back to me. And I was there over 3 hours. I know the security don't come back and say anything.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
not good.
imagine.
That's not good. We need to lift the
And
quality of service that we're delivering to our people.
I'm saying they're trying to help, but it's not really good, you know. I think they can do better. I think they can do better. Anyway, Mr. Malcolm, let me leave it at that until another time, for
Well,
I'm not picking up so okay.
yes. Well, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Not for the first time, but it doesn't hurt to keep repeating it. Those who have ears to
Truly.
hear, let them hear.
True, sir. Have a good day. Take
You
care.
too. You too. Take care. Bye bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello, Miss Beryl, I see you. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. How are things in Atlanta, Georgia? Good to see you online. Hello to your husband and your daughters and your son-in-law and your grandchildren in Atlanta, Georgia. Good to see you online. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I gather that Kyle would be the one operating the computer right now and making sure that you can see us on YouTube. Hello, Kyle. We hope you're well and hope you're continuing to be the smart young man we know you are. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Anthony Davis says in bold letters, hello, Mr. Malcolm, with exclamation marks. Jamaica needs a radical, firm prime minister to lead Jamaica properly. Andrew don't fit for the job, says Anthony Davis. Thank you very much for your message, Anthony Davis. And we have to be careful now when we start talking like this, Anthony Davis. Radical, radical. Well, let's see if we can remind ourselves of the use of the word radical. Let's take a look here. Let's remind ourselves. Radical. It says, especially of change or action relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something, far reaching or thorough, a radical overhaul of the existing regulatory framework. So that seems pretty straightforward, right? And pretty sound. Then it goes on, forming an inherent or fundamental part of the nature of someone or something. The assumption of radical differences between the mental attributes of literate and non-literate peoples. That's using it in a sentence. It also refers to of surgery or medical treatment. It speaks of thorough and intended to be completely curative. It also means advocating or based on thorough or complete political or social change, representing or supporting an extreme or progressive section of a political party. And that word extreme, we want to stay away from extremism as much as possible. Extremism. And it uses another example here, a radical activist. And a bit of history on the word, belonging to an extreme section of the Liberal Party during the 19th century. This is from British history, characterized by independence of or departure from tradition, innovative or unorthodox. The daring avant-garde spirit of the music was too radical for the conservative audience, denoting or relating to the roots of a word, belonging to the root of a chord, relating to or forming the root of a number of quantity. The point I'm making is the meaning the meaning of this word is so vast that it's almost like the perfect tool, except that it now requires a level of expertise, a level of meticulousness and design orientation, and generally speaking, a scientific approach, if they want to get it right. If they want to get it right. That's the thing. If they want to get it right. But I think we have had, I don't know, if we look back in our political history, Anthony Davis, haven't we had radical leadership, in if even short-lived or briefly attempted, but there's no follow-through. There's no follow-through. But then people are going to be very critical if a prime minister comes and start talking about radical and firm. Mind you, I remember as a youngster, I used to see this graffiti on a wall, "Stand firm." And I later figured out that that was a political slogan, by the way. Looks like we're going to leave it there for now. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 30th and penultimate day of the month of August 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
106 FM. The time is now.
Bye.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106